That's right. I cleaned it up.
Hey, that's how we're jumping in. As usual, it's Sunday, so that means the two of us are doing our Game of Thrones review. Did you bring in the notebook?
I did not. I had to grab it.
First and foremost, fucking phenomenal. To start with, as just from a technical standpoint, the battle was the beginning of the battle was done so. I understand why. I understand the feeling they were trying to elicit, and they got it, so fair enough. But I don't know. It was just a little too much of what it wanted, if that makes sense. But I am pardon the casual attire for the day. It's been a long one.
I disagree. I liked it. I think it was everything it should have been.
No, just the beginning.
The beginning?
Yeah, where it was all like super hectic cuts with no real following and things like that. It was meant to elicit the chaos of battle and things like that. But remember, you gotta get closer if you're gonna be.
And the sheer amount of how much they were overwhelmed by the force that they were up against, like that's pretty huge. Like nobody expected the force of what they were coming up against.
You gotta project your voice.
Nobody was expecting what they were coming up against. So, like dead people, they're pretty strong. And they're coming at you a lot faster than they expect. So it's like kind of being hit by a battering ram that's biting you. And it crunches through your armor and it kills you. Like dead. Like that. And then all of a sudden, and then the next one's over that guy, and the next one's biting the guy behind you.
I will say, I really love the way they did that kind of wave technique with the undead.
Yeah.
I think that, and at first I was like, oh man, they made the Dothraki some bitches. But really, if you don't know what you're up against, even being well prepared, well armed, is not going to save you.
That's right.
And fuck, dude,
they were not prepared.
Like, I knew going into this, I'll say something I was totally wrong about. I was like, oh, the Dothraki are going to be her sacrifice to show the North that the blah, blah, blah. Well, we know the North don't give a shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep your fucking,
we'll handle it.
Our crown jewel is fucking, it is smoke. Like, we got to do this again. We've done this before. Mm-hmm. We'll do it again, okay? Like, but
the history book said we did it before.
Right? So, yeah, we're just...
Of course, when they did it before, they had dragons. So, that's Daenerys pulling through on that one.
That's true. But, yeah, I like the whole thing, and... Alright, so that's just the beginning. The opening fight scenes, the pacing of the suspense and things like that were all super dope. I was pretty happy with that.
Okay, so the big thing is, though, that we saw Ghost for like 2 seconds.
And he was the size of like a normal wolf. Maybe a wolf. Bigger. Yeah. But, dude,
he was a really big normal wolf.
He should have been like the size of one of those horses, like a little bigger than one of those horses.
Should be big enough to ride.
Yeah. Because, like just period.
Straight up.
Oh, my God. So
that was annoying. They spent so much money on everything else, he couldn't, just right? CGI a bigger wolf.
And I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but did he do anything but have those two still scenes? Did they basically just superimpose the same fucking?
You gotta be kidding me! He would be fighting up with Jon the whole time.
He would be ripping heads off. He would just.
Yeah. Well, I mean, except for when Jon's on the dragon and everything, but still, as soon as Jon hit the ground, the ghost would have been next to him.
Yeah, and here's the. I just know you can tell they use the stock footage of him just kind of standing there oh yeah, I'm a fucking wolf dog, I'm fucking badass. You know what I mean? And it's no, there should be more than this.
Right.
But
no,
plenty
of dragons though.
I was gonna say you wanted to have all the dragon fights, and I'm not mad at you for it.
Yeah, dragon fights were good.
All right, what are we on?
Well, Melisandre's a badass.
Yeah.
Just in general, it's cool. She just rolled up out of nowhere.
She rolled out of the wrong direction of the black.
Yeah,
I don't.
Right.
I don't even begin to want to explain to you what the fuck that she rolled technically wherever she came from behind her was that wave of undead.
Right. Not very far behind there. at all. And she was like just moseying along,
Just
like no big deal.
Clippity clapping, no
Clip,
long.
Clap, clip, clap, clip, clap.
But
And then she's like, "Let me set your swords on fire, so
right.
that you have some form of chance, because you really have no chance."
And me being kind of the stickler that I am, I was like, hey, the second she grabbed that Dothraki's weapon and started chanting some magical shit, he would have straight up murdered her. It would have been the end of that. And let's be honest, with the exception of some stuff she does later that we're going to talk about, at that exact moment to those Dothraki, that fire didn't mean shit.
Didn't mean shit.
Didn't mean shit.
Anything,
all it made was for a really dope scene while
awesome
people
scene.
watch the fires go out.
Yeah.
Like that was beautifully
so nice.
done. Like, because each light is a life, and you just watched them just, and then like the little like
dropping shit.
and then the little like the flickering at the end, and then the nothing. It was the cinematography in this episode was absolutely fantastic. Money well spent, very well done.
Yeah.
Like any bad thing I'm going to say about this, because I'm a hater, is not at all aimed towards the cinematography. Like even the
awesome.
like I said before, even the parts I didn't like how jagged and like how like just gap cut and just fucking chaos. Yeah. Even that was done for a purpose, and it elicited the purpose it was supposed to give. So, like, even if I didn't like it, that doesn't mean it wasn't done well, and I can acknowledge that. But,
so, yeah. But the other thing that was cool for Melisandre was how she was all like, yeah, I got this. And then she's trying to light the trenches, and it's just not working.
Dude, I love that. Because she came in there with a big swinging dick, set a bunch of people's swords on fire so we could watch them die.
Yeah. Right.
And,
otherwise, they'd be totally ignorant of how fast.
Basically, yeah. And then like she did some stuff later, but she goes out and she's like, "I got this. Don't even worry." She saunters out and is like,
Come on, hands.
Maybe he wasn't hearing me.
Come on,
like,
fire.
And I like to think the Lord of Fire's like, yeah, who's the badass now, huh? Yeah, no.
Like,
look how close they are.
I don't think you mean it.
I think you think you're
like,
doing this. I think that's why you feel it.
Yeah. I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it.
I'm not feeling your being my representation of me. I feel like you're representing yourself right now. Yeah. And I don't like that.
So then as soon as she got to the point where she was like,
oh, I'm going to die.
No. Oh, no.
I'm going to flat out be the enemy.
Oh, shit. Like, adrenaline rush. And then...
It's like, lucky for you, I do still have plans of things to do. So you know, but he was...
But I needed to let you sweat a little bit.
I put on my Johnny Cash shirt, Ring of Fire, because it's suiting.
That was very suited. Very suited. I liked how the fog, the cold wind.
Oh my God.
Fog, like, it was windy, so they couldn't light the trenches. It was too cold. So, you know, like, it just...
That was so beautifully done. The way... Because even in the books, like, the winter was attributed to a terrible fucking storm that covered everything, and there was no end to it. You couldn't see in front of your face. And that was just the winter that was coming. You know what I mean? As far as the Starks were concerned. As far as the Starks were concerned.
Like, that was kind of like a normal winter. It was just having, like, a storm last for months.
Well, no, I mean, like, no. Not like a winter that's coming, the one that could last years or generations. Yeah. But I mean, like, the winter that the Stark line is really about, because, you know,
long night.
Bran the Builder built the wall to keep them out. You know what I mean? The Starks have been intricate in keeping the night.
Integral?
I said intricate.
Integral to the development.
He has been all up in. All right, the Starks have been all up in his business since June.
True. Yes.
All right,
getting all the Stark line is definitely a pain in the ass of the night.
Fatness
of the King of Night. So yeah, I loved also, just personally, like as a reader of the books, how Beric and Clegane saved Arya. Like, that came around full circle for me. Like,
when he picked her up and ran, I was like, that's the second time. That is the second time. Two, like, we went straight from the few Fujis, like two times.
It's funny.
But yeah, like, just, and okay, can we talk? We're gonna talk about Arya in this. That she was one of the top badasses. For my top badass, she doesn't get my top badass award. All right, she's the second. She's second award.
How is she
Second.
not first?
Really? All right. She has spent.
Oh, you mean Theon?
Yes.
Yeah.
She has spent all this time being trained to kill, being trained to do this stuff.
True.
She has been trained to be a badass. Theon has been through the worst torture you could possibly imagine, to the point where his body literally doesn't function the same. He doesn't have as many fingers. He doesn't have as many toes. And he was out there straight up setting bodies down. Like, he gets so much more credit. Like, he's always been my dude. He's always been one of my favorite characters. And to see this, I was like, vindication. Like, just sweet vindicate. Like,
yeah, like Arya's training, but he was pure instinct.
like, and that's a fucking Ironborn. He should have been every one of, like, the thing that I hate most about this is that they turn everybody into fodder. Like, the Unsullied army, even at the first wave would have hit them, the people behind them would have already adapted to murdering, to like a whole situation to deal with that. They are, each one of them is worth 10 men. Like, they are one of the most dominant killing forces on the entire planet.
And the Ironborn were worth like 20 men each. They were each a berserker in their own right.
Oh my god.
So it's like, it's just crazy to think that like they all just sat there with their bows and arrows. No, in real life they would have dropped those bows and arrows,
Picked up their axes and murder fucks and shit.
Yeah, mostly axes.
They like them some axes. It works.
And they were really good at like the close
It
hand-to-hand combat.
would have been,
so that would
every one of them would have been Theon. You know what I mean? And I'm glad. I mean, don't get me wrong. It made Theon. Yeah, it made Theon look like, you know,
such a badass.
the way an fucking Ironborn should look. But it also just he gets my badass award. I'm sorry. Everybody else did really dope, but
yeah, Arya was the slick shit.
Arya.
Dropped my knife into my other hand.
She didn't see it, but I saw it the second. I was like, oh, that's what she did Brienne when they were sparring. That was that move.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. She's so... And I saw it coming. Once he did that over and she, like, let it drop, I was like, that's it. I was like, I remember that slick-ass move. She thought she just lost the weapon.
Like, shit, Arya's done.
And I was like, no. Like, you should have seen... I reacted profanely. I was like...
So we were both freaking out, but for different reasons.
Yeah,
I was like, nah!
She thought Arya was about to die. And I was like, oh, yeah, get it. It was bad. It was bad.
He's bad.
All right, what else? What else is on the list here?
On the list, Bran sees the bigger picture with Theon.
Yo.
Giving him the cred.
Yeah, that
like,
you're a good
on.
man.
You're a good man.
And
despite what you've done in your life.
even
like,
if he went out kind of like a bee because he charged at somebody,
Dude,
he should have just
bullshit.
like.
Really?
I hate how they do that.
It's not like
shit.
Lady Mormont, right? Where she was charged.
We're not talking about her right now. We
Okay.
need to. That's its
we
own
can't
thing.
go
I
there
don't
yet.
even want to get started on my baby. I don't even want to get
He
started
loves
on my.
Lyanna Mormont.
That's my future daughter from the past in a world that is fantasy. Either way, she's my daughter.
That's the daughter that will be at some point.
Facts. All right. But what were we talking
Okay,
about?
so badass Arya. Beric sacrificed himself, almost pretty much sacrificed himself, but that was like pretty much what he lived for.
Yeah, like if Beric didn't die in this, I would be upset with Beric. Like, because that dude's died from way lesser shit than this. Like, not to say he's a bitch or anything, but he's died like 8 times, 9 times.
A lot.
13 to 6.
It's a lot.
9 to 16 times.
Remember.
Like, that's a lot of times to die. He's even said before, I'm pretty sure I've lost count. Like, he was, oh god, it was.
So one thing I'm kind of disappointed in is that Sam never said, you know, I've been reading a lot about these Nightwalkers because he did like research the fuck out of them and knew the most out of anybody
Mm-hmm.
about them, and never thought to say, hey, maybe hiding in a crypt isn't the best idea.
No, but
I'm sure he's got a lot on his mind.
this whole time he was just more concerned with himself than like really anything, because he didn't.
Well, this
He
is the
showed
first
up-
time he's had anything to care about, to be
to fight for,
yeah.
fight for other than himself. Like he's fighting for his son and for Lily there.
Gilly.
Gilly.
I know, sorry.
No, you're not. No, that was me. I'm mad at myself. I've been just fucking up names, messing up names lately.
Yeah, so that's why I was thinking, like, we should probably go online and double check some stuff before we just say stuff.
Nope. I'm not doing that. That's not
They
my
always
style.
gotta live in the moment. Get in there.
That's all we have. I could touch a cord or something and be electrocuted in the next second, and you would all. I mean, I don't think
Then
she'd
you would
upload
never
this.
know
I
what
don't
he
think
had
she'd
to say.
upload this. Anyway, we're off track.
All right. Theon, Greyjoy. Oh, I wrote equals guts because,
Oh yeah, her favorite anime is
Berserk.
Berserk, and that was straight up a good, just swinging a hefty weapon.
Like
you
living
know?
in the moment, just going for the next person you see in front of you, and then just having all these bodies spread around in a circle when he was done. Just like,
Just in that primal murder
ready to
state.
bring
I
it
love
on.
it.
Arya saves the day. Honestly, I love the whole her Arya's religion is that like many-faced Church of Death kind of thing. So they always say, "What do we say to death?"
Not today.
Which I like so much because then she was like, "No, not today. I'm gonna go find that guy, fucking kill him."
Part of me was hoping like this is the fan servicey part of me, but like the cereal would just pop out of nowhere and just start water dancing on some bitches' faces. Like
No.
I know it's not gonna happen.
No, because
But-
Arya is not the new water dancer.
She is she would
she had
be
to prove herself.
Well, I mean, not in this, but
Dude, this is like the ultimate proving.
no, I mean it didn't happen. Like she
Oh.
didn't do all that in the show.
Wait, what?
Never mind. We're talking about this. She's so fucking dope.
Oh, Theon got a bad death. That's what I said.
Yeah, and he
so
did.
many people got a good death.
So many people got a good death, and he got ganked up like
We
like
should
it was
probably figure out
nothing.
Who died.
Oh
I didn't
man,
write
there's
down who died.
all right. Speaking of who died, I'm gonna stop wasting time. We're gonna talk about little lady
Yes.
Mormont. Rest in peace, you giant slaying badass. Take everybody a moment, because I know you need it.
Lyanna Mormont. Little cub.
All right, Little Cub was so badass. Not only was she handling her position as commander with absolute dignity and authority, like nobody hesitated. She did what I mean. Granted,
Yeah.
they know like that situation. I don't think anybody's gonna hesitate because the person's giving them orders is young. But she's also earned it before that,
Yeah.
and she's straight up ready to fight. She stood down a giant that burst through the door. She could have ran. She was like, humph. And then she stood
You're
up.
not expecting it at first, though.
Yeah, well, no, she got bitch slapped pretty. I thought she was done right there. I'm not
we
gonna
both
lie
thought
to you.
I was
like, oh,
she
they
got bitch
gave
slapped
her
by a giant. She's done.
like that was 1-1. The one of the my
1-1.
dude. I love
Theo
1-1.
loves
He was the
1-1.
last. He was the last 1-1. But he got to die twice. I didn't like that. But I'm glad they brought a giant back. And if there's anybody to kill a giant, it was little lady Mormont. Like,
Yes.
she just...
Dude, and at first I was like, what is she doing? Like, she's smarter than that. Just running at the giant, like, rah. I was, like, so disappointed at first.
Right?
Like, she was not the kind of character to get, like, taken away by an adrenaline rush and just be like, rah.
No, and then she's just like, wow!
And she kills him in the eye.
She gets that one, it just gets him in the one.
It's like,
one
I
good
know
eye.
that I just need to get him to, like, literally get me close enough to his face for me to do this. And I will have
Like,
to sacrifice my life to do that.
Oh, my God. Part of me
So
wishes
cool.
that, like, she was, like, just crushed in the armor, and then, like, somebody comes along, undoes the armor, and she's
Then
like,
she'll be fine. Right?
you know? But, I mean,
Unlikely.
that That was the part. I mean, I wanted her to live so
It wasn't
bad.
just the armor that got crushed. You know, you heard
No.
crunches
Oh,
of
yeah,
like her
there was-
ribs.
Everything on the inside was
Yeah.
basically slushy. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got some ribs inside some organs
some
with that one.
some spinal damage that you
At the
couldn't
very
even
least.
help with.
No, certainly not my specialty.
But yeah, it's just, oh my god, it was such a good end for her. Like, to kill a giant, literally and technically a one-on-one fight, because everybody was dead on that point, and nobody may have really won, but she didn't lose first.
I'm glad they didn't show more of her when she was a zombie.
Right? When I saw those eyes turn blue, I was like, no, my baby.
I don't want to watch. And we didn't want to watch Ned Stark like come out of a crypt and start killing people with
No, we
like
did
no
not.
head.
Actually, no, I did. That's what I wanted. I kept saying, like, please let it, like, headless Ned, like, pop out of somewhere and just start, like...
Which makes me wonder, can there be a headless corpse? Like, because they all have heads, the ones that came back.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there can. That makes sense.
I think so.
Damn. But there's tons of other Starks. Why couldn't... They got Lyanna's back, right? They got Lyanna back.
Yeah, Lyanna's definitely probably one of the ones that came out. I mean,
I wonder
if we were
who the
paying more
first one
attention
was.
to the crypts themselves,
Yeah, we could have
we'd
picked out
probably
who it
been like,
was.
yeah, but we're gonna have to wait to do that.
Because if it's a Stark, especially because the one dude definitely was a Stark with a wolf, so that means he was fucking somebody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, he was a real deal, like, Stark. And how old that was? That's hundreds of years. Like, that could be, like, Bran. The first, the builder.
are you implying that the zombie would be stronger because the person?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm not implying that at all. I was just saying that it would be cool that if it was, that was,
It's an
Bran the
old
Builder.
ass-
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the
Definitely
first one
was.
that poked his hand
Bran the
out.
Builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in that crypt too, for sure.
Think about that.
All of them coming back to eat your face.
All right, what else?
You know
What
that.
else was there?
Um,
Oh, when Ed dies.
oh,
Right?
that was
And
sad.
Sam just starts huffing it.
I know. That was the only time Sam was ever like not a badass, and it's totally understandable because it's like everyone's dying around him, and he's like
Just
kind of
everybody.
freaking out.
Everybody is dying around him.
We were both like, "Yo, Daenerys can't fight."
Dude, she's so, like, she's like Superman on Kryptonite. Just
She's-
fodder as fuck. Like, she's just standing there.
She's such a hoe.
Jorah's like, basically, oh my god. Jorah's like, I'm going to block everybody that tries to attack her with my body and let her stab them. So she feels good about herself. Like, if anybody has played Fire Emblem, there's an archetype called the Jigan, or however you want to pronounce it, where it's a really strong unit that goes with you that soaks up all the XP so you can survive in case things attack you. And that's exactly what that was. That's like all I saw.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But of course, it's his undying love for Daenerys. He
Dude,
would be
that
her human
dude-
shield.
He is officially and forevermore the official physical embodiment of Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
To save the day.
Right? Like, he showed up out of nowhere. I still don't know how he figured out to be right where she would accidentally fall off of her dragon. Like, some hundreds of yards away from the castle. But we're not going to talk about that.
He just follows his instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
His penis is like a divining rod.
No. You're not. But he did it for love. Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's good.
Because Kuwabara is a man. The mulberry is a tree. So anyway, that's okay. What else? The dragon fight was actually spectacularly done. The way, like, they got cleaved, the way they died, the pieces of their, it was a very beautifully done fight. The blue fire,
Vicious clawing their necks and biting.
right? Like, it was
Heads coming around. John getting thrown off.
my favorite part. Hashtag not my Aegon.
Hashtag not my griff.
No, he's no Griff. Hashtag
He's
not
no
my
griff? Okay,
Yeah,
I
he's no
thought,
Griff.
Not my griff. Sorry. My bad.
No, he's not my Aegon.
Not my Aegon.
He's no Griff.
Just not Griff.
Anyway. What else? Oh, when they were talking about that's gonna go so bad later.
What?
Because Missandei's gonna like talk to Daenerys and be like, "Yo,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
she doesn't." She straight up was like, "You can't do that." Da-da-da. Like she's
You
gonna
can't be
snitch to the
married
queen.
because...
Yeah, because she said some shit like not thinking where she was or who was around her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the situation is fucking literally hell's knocking on.
That was
every
really
door.
weird for Sandra, honestly, or Sansa. She's usually very much more aware of her surroundings than that, so that's kind of talks about the place she was in. But
for me, like that's kind of explained away by the fact that she wasn't even supposed to be there. She came in late. She didn't get like normally she like assesses her surroundings like as people settle in. She's kind of an early arriver. She plans and stuff. This was her coming late into a situation, so we don't know.
She doesn't really handle change well and all that good stuff.
No, especially when she did see what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of all of them there, she knows that if any of them show up, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like as she said, I don't even know how to use one of these. Like, and then she gave him the John lesson, stick him with the pointy end.
Stick him with the pointy end.
I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
You got to bring it back. Got to bring it back.
Full circle. A lot of full circle. I loved it.
Yeah, there was a lot of cyclical shit in this one. I'll give it that.
That was
I'm
super
pretty happy
good.
with it.
Oh, and what the hell was Bran doing?
This whole fucking time, like,
they're gonna. I'm hoping they explain it because Bran is like everywhere and everywhere.
I think here's. I'm gonna say this. I've said some shit I've been wrong about, and I think I'm gonna be wrong about this. But I think Bran knew that she was coming. Like, I think Bran knew beyond a doubt.
Well, of course he knew. He knows everything.
Exactly. So I think what he sent the Ravens off to do
was something else.
Because now they got to deal with Cersei. And Cersei was literally waiting for this moment. Like, let me know when you're weak. We're going to send our armies. We're going to fuck your buttholes. Like, that's pretty much what she said.
I guess. I just like it's confusing because when he first, did the eye thing and then became the Ravens, they made it seem like he was looking for and then ran into the Night King. Right? Because then it was like first person view and the Night King's like, rah, I got you. Rah, I can see you. You're looking at me and I can see you looking at me. And it's like, but then what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like
nothing. I don't know what happened. Did they have a showdown of like brains coming up against each other like that they would have done because their consciousnesses are like crazy powerful?
Yeah, like, and on some fucking absolutely real shit. I was hoping that like children would pop out of the tree and just start blasting. Children. Yeah, the first children, like, just start blasting fireballs at people and just start really holding it. Like,
now the Night King's already dead. Like, I didn't think Arya was gonna like.
I didn't think that was gonna happen. I'll straight up admit it. I thought they were gonna take this. They have to retreat because there's a whole lot of South left, and that means there's a whole lot of South coming up. Straight up and down, like Cersei doesn't wait. This is what she was waiting for, rather. Sorry, and so if she's waiting for something and it happens, she's not going to wait for it to happen again. You know what I mean?
True.
She's not going to be like, oh, sweet, let them catch their breath a little bit.
No, the North is weak, and I need to like crush them.
Exactly, and she's got the Golden Army.
Mm-hmm. Golden Army of dead people?
No, the Golden Army, the Devils.
Oh, that's right, that. Mercenary army. Yeah.
And
but she has her like honor guard.
Yeah. And she's got her little zombie dudes.
Yeah.
This is just some insane shit. What's gonna come next? I have no.
Yeah, it's like they have 3 more episodes after this.
Yep. 3
That's
more.
That's a lot. And they're all like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
So clearly we're not at the end. The death of the Night King means nothing in the grand scheme of things right now.
Right.
Like what?
All right. Well, if we forgot something you want us to talk about, because a lot happened.
A lot.
And shout out to Pod making it out alive.
Podrick.
All the dead people.
Oh
I'm going to do a tribute later after we watch this again.
Jamie.
Yeah, we're going to do a tribute to the fallen. We're going to respect. But for now, R.I.P. Theon, little lady Mormont.
R.I.P.
Dude, I want that picture of him surrounded by bodies.
Yes.
And I'm like, call me Reek one more time. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, no,
Right.
I don't want to do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This has been Captain Valen and my ship's doctor.
I'll take it.
All right. This has been Captain Valen and wife talking Game of Thrones. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, life happens in every direction. Let's be prepared.